If you want to grow your business to 6 or 7 figures with a high ticket offer, there is only one sales funnel that you need, and it does not require you to spend any money on marketing. I implemented this funnel back in 2021 when I first started selling our high ticket CFO services. And initially it resulted in me being able to close 2 high ticket CFO clients every single month from the time I started selling them until we reached capacity, because this sales process I'm going to talk you through works so well to convert high ticket buyers. But please don't get thrown off by the word funnel. I know that word can trigger some of us into thinking about bro and Becky marketing. We're not going to do that today. We're going to keep it really, really simple. I promise. I'm going to walk you through step by step what this sales funnel looks like and how you can implement it in your business. You are listening to the Profit and Prosper podcast, the podcast where I will teach you how to take home a 6-figure paycheck and become a wealthy CEO from your business without having to sacrifice your life today. All right, y'all, so I'm doing something fun today. I'm going back to my teacher days where I used to write on a whiteboard as I lecture my students about algebra and geometry. But if you are not watching the video version either on YouTube or on Spotify, I highly recommend that you do, because I'm going to actually draw this funnel out for you, because I think it just is so much easier to be able to visualize it rather than just hearing me talk through it. So if you can watch the video version, I highly recommend it. But if I make an idiot of myself because I can't talk and draw at the same time, please forgive me. Okay, so this funnel only has a handful of steps in it. It's going to be super quick to walk through. The differentiator in this funnel, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, is that instead of offering a traditional consult or sales call or whatever you have done, discovery call, what we're going to switch to is doing a free or very low cost micro service for your clients. And I'll tell you why it's so important after I draw the funnel. First step, obviously, at the very top of our funnel is your leads. So we're going to have our nice, happy little person here. This is going to be leads. I really hope you can read my handwriting. Wherever you get your leads from, whether it is networking, referrals, social media, people booking calls with you from your email list, wherever they come from, basically what you're going to do is point all of your calls to action to our basically microservice form. So typically I don't like to let people straight book calls on my calendar. I like to, can I draw a square? Yes, I can. Okay. So this is going to be our little, we'll call it like inquiry form here. So they're going to fill out the form. It's going to be we're not going to call it an inquiry form. We're going to call it like our pre-assessment form. You know, at Young & Co, we call it our financial assessment form. Whatever it is, whatever you name your microservice, it's not an inquiry form or a contact form anymore. It is a form that they're going to fill out to express interest in receiving the free microservice. But I'm still, just for purposes of our drawing, we're going to call it an inquiry form. Okay, my handwriting is not the best, y'all. We're going to get good at this because I really like the idea of drawing on the screen. All right, so once they fill out their inquiry form, I'm going to make my box a little bit bigger here. Oop, what a nice rectangle. Then we're going to do our microservice. And so this is where we're going to have our actual meeting on the screen, where you are going to deliver whatever your microservice is. This is where you're going to come up with something that's going to be super short. You can do this in 15 to 20 minutes or less, and then transition them over into a sales call. So you're going to deliver the microservice, and then they're going to be like, you're amazing, sign me up immediately. And this is where you're going to lead them into the proposal. So I don't know what icon I can draw for a proposal, so I just won't. The other thing that I like to add, and this will be a bonus, would be after they submit the inquiry form, you might send them an email sequence, just sort of explaining the process, what they can expect. You might also send them have the redirect after they submit the form to a video of you explaining the process, explaining your business and what you do and the clients you work with. I find I've always gotten really great feedback when we have a video for people after they submit our inquiry form or book a call, because they just really feel like it's that extra personal touch. So I would say these are nice to haves, but not necessary. Okay. So you can honestly start with just sending all of your leads via call to action to your inquiry form. that then sends them over to booking a call with you to go through the microservice. So let's talk about why the microservice works as a mechanism to sell high ticket clients. The way that you structure your microservice, you really want it to solve a very specific problem that your ideal client is having. If you listen to the last podcast episode where we talked about structuring your offer suite, you heard me talk about having a framework that you take your ideal client through. So your microservice is going to take them through maybe not even the whole first step, but like the first step to the first step of your framework. It needs to be something that you can easily repeat, that you can easily deliver in literally 15 to 20 minutes. You should not be putting a ton of time into delivering a free service. But even though it is really small, even though it's a microservice, what I find is that it converts high ticket buyers really well because, for one, it enables them to get a taste of what it's like to work with you and your team. They get to see some value, some immediate value. You might have heard me talk about how high ticket buyers in most cases really value their time. And so rather than just having 2 or 3 discovery calls before they sign a proposal, instead you can make really good use of their time, provide them with something that is of high value, and they feel like they've really gotten something in exchange for the time that they've invested into actually filling out your form and getting on a call with you. The other reason I really love this is because when you have your framework that you take clients through, your microservice is taking them through like the first micro step, and you can structure the call where you deliver the service and transition it into selling them your offer. You can basically show them how your offer is their next logical 1 or 2 or 3 or more steps that they need to take. When I first started doing this 3 years ago, my husband said, "It's like you're a mechanic." And I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like when you take your car to the shop and they take it back and they look at everything and they bring out this sheet where they've printed off, here's the 10 bajillion things that's wrong with it. It's going to cost $5,000, right? It's like that if you structure your microservice the right way. And I don't mean in a bad or overwhelming way, but just opening your clients or potential clients' eyes up into, here's the problem that you have. We really understand your problem. Here's what you want. Here's your exact next steps for what you need. So as an example, I'll give you one. So at Young & Co., we still do this. We do financial assessments or profit assessments. I can't remember. We've called them both. They're kind of the same thing. Essentially what we do is we get our clients, they fill out an intake form with some sort of basic information. We ask them to send us their financial statements for their business for the last year or two. And we will do a super quick benchmarking profit assessment just to show them, hey, you are either not profitable enough, you're making a lot of money, you're doing great, just basically to identify the red flags. And it just segues so seamlessly into us talking to them about, here's what your next step is based on what we see from this profit assessment. So instead of them having this vague sense of, here's what I think a CFO could do for my business, we're actually able to talk to them specifically about what we would do for them when they hire us. So if you're sold on the idea of implementing a free or low-cost microservice for your business in order to convert high-ticket clients, here's your next steps that you need to take. Number one, you need to design your microservice. So figuring out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, setting up your intake form, getting everything structured, preferably in a way that is templatized. I don't know if that's a real word, but just making it so that this microservice is really, really easy and low lift for you to be able to deliver. Not because you're going to be doing a bajillion of them, but let's say if your goal is to close 5 high ticket clients, you might need to do 10 of these in order to close 5 or so clients. So design your microservice, make it frictionless. You're going to want to create an intake form. I'm not going to go into the weeds of what's in an intake form because I do think there's an art to it. I will say I like to have the form really help me pre-qualify clients and get the information that I need from them in order to perform the microservice. But there's always got to be a balance between not asking too many questions and not making them feel overwhelmed in the sales process because they're going to be more likely to drop off and not book a call with you at all. But I do think having an intake form ahead of time will help you not just deliver the microservice better and pre-qualify clients, make sure you're not wasting your time on calls with people who aren't qualified for your offer in the first place, but it'll just make the sales process so much easier because on the call, you'll have less information that you need to ask them about, and you can just jump right in on the sales call into the nitty-gritty. Then once you have your microservice and your intake form set up, you're going to basically direct all of your traffic from social media to networking. Everywhere you go, everywhere you find leads, you're going to start pointing people to fill out that inquiry form and book your call, audit, assessment, demo, whatever you decide your microservice is, to book a call to you. You're going to start driving traffic. You also probably, bonus tip, want to set this up to connect to your email service provider so that you can collect leads and build your email list while you're doing this as a bonus. And then, of course, when you have these calls, I think one of the important things is not to just deliver the service and walk away, but I like to structure the intake form and even the meeting description in the invite to make sure that people booking this call know that we are going to talk about whether they're a good fit for working with us, because we want this to be a sales call. We just want it to be a super high value sales call that people are more excited to actually book and get on the call with you. So making sure that it's clear ahead of time that you are going to be talking about your offers, and then structuring your microservice, like I said, so that you can very easily and seamlessly transition from talking about whatever microservice you provide for the client into, hey, here's your next steps and here's how our offers are going to help you specifically do that. So what we went over today was what I call my level 1 or basic funnel. If you want a more advanced version of the funnel, including adding in lead magnets, more email sequences, maybe even driving more traffic with ads, none of which is necessary because you can absolutely scale your business to multi-6 and 7 figures with this basic quote unquote funnel alone. But if you want to see the more advanced version, I actually went over it step by step in my CEO Shift mini course. It's in day 3 of the mini course. So go to sarahhyoung.com/CEO Shift. And then in day 3, you'll see me go through both of those high ticket funnels. So you can talk a little bit more about what it might be like to implement and sell high ticket offers in your business. So I hope you enjoyed my amazing drawing skills today, y'all. You can probably expect more of this because I really like to pretend that I'm on a whiteboard in front of you. And if there's anything else you want to see me whiteboard, feel free to DM me over on Instagram and I'll add it to the podcast episode list. But that's it for today, and I'll see you next time.